When was the moment you realized that your best friend wasn't your best friend? When he ghosted me after I told him I had a tumor that ended up being cancerous. When she told me she doesn't like other girls except me cause she likes to be the prettiest girl in the room. When he posted wedding photos on Facebook, I didn't know he was dating anyone. Our conversations were getting shorter and less intriguing. One day, I received great news and wanted to share it to my best friend. I then realized that they deleted and blocked me on Facebook. We graduated from high school and she went to college halfway across the world. When she came back to visit, when I tried to hang out with her she was always too busy. I later saw tons of pictures posted on Facebook with her and other girls having fun together. So that's what she was so busy with. Then at one point she told me that those girls had actually invited me to everything but she convinced them I wouldn't be able to go. I would have been able to go. I left her alone after that. Edit. I see a lot of speculation in the comments so I'll try to clear things up. These girls were all people I'd been going to school with since kindergarten or so. We all knew each other. I was on good terms with the other girls. The girl I'd been best friends with since first grade so I felt loyal to her even though as we got older she got meaner. I've learned better since then. I have no idea why she said that but when she said it, it was with no malice or shame or anything. Like she was just offhandedly stating a fact. I honestly can't figure out why. Maybe she really did think I was busy and it just came out really wrong. But it seems deliberate when you do that consistently for 2-3 weeks while everyone was back home. He was best man at my wedding. We had not much contact for a couple of years, but I still considered him my best friend. I heard about his wedding well after the fact. Guess we're not best friends anymore. When she got ass-faced drunk at my her godson's, wedding, trashed a hotel room, called me horrible names and punched me closed fist in the face. She ended up passed out on the grounds of the hotel, came to and was arrested for trespassing because she refused to leave the premises. Days later, via email, blaming me because she didn't realize she was harboring so much animosity towards me. Bye bye. I found out she was uploading my art to a bad art blog. I only found out because she sent me 2 paragraphs telling me I was a horrible friend anonymously on Tumblr. Then when I went to her crying over it wondering who it was she said it was her and then blocked me. I thought I could still fix things but then I found the bad art blog with my art on it and found out she was talking it about me to her other friends. I was only 15 and even though it's been years since it I'm still ducked up by it in some ways. If you don't like someone, don't pretend to like them and make fun of them behind their backs. Just let them know you feel like you can't be friends anymore and distance yourself. Yeah, that will hurt in the short term but it won't monumentally duck over someone's entire psyche as being fake will. While they were driving everyone decided they wanted to party. No one had money so they suggested they should call Varvitus, he always has money. I was sitting in the back seat. I was like I'm right here and I'm not in the mood to party tonight. When we went out to eat and I offered her to pay, as usual, because she told me that she forgot her purse. She ordered loads of food and ate only half of it. After leaving her shoelace was loose and she bent over to tie her shoe and a $100 bill was sticking out of her back pocket. She did this for 4 years and I never realized. Gave her another chance without saying a word. 3 days later I found out she was constantly using my Instagram to text my ex-boyfriend to end my current relationship. I think she never got slapped so hard. When my best friend had marriage troubles, I was there for him. All through his wife's infidelity, the divorce, and the custody battle. I testified on his behalf in court and he got custody of the kids. Fast forward 2 years later, when I find out my wife is cheating on me, he's not really interested in talking to me about it so much, and even acts like he's not home when I stop by for a visit. And no, he wasn't the one my wife was cheating with. He's a good dad and a fun guy to hang around with, but he's just not emotionally available to help other people out much. When they would talk about themselves but never ask about me. When I found out she was sleeping with my boyfriend, ducking itch. Every time she called me I would have to poop. Literally the sound of her voice would make my body want to expel waste. And this was before cell phones so I had to do the poop dance in the hallway while trying to get off the phone with her. When I opened up to her about my postpartum depression and she told me that she didn't have time for depression and it was weak. I was never vulnerable with her, but I was dying inside. I needed someone and she had told me she didn't care. I began shutting her out then. My best friend of high school, someone who I thought would be in my life for a long time, started to hit on a girl that I was talking to. He would lie about me to change her opinion of me, and the best part is he never admitted to a thing. Maybe not that bad, but I felt really betrayed. When she told me my husband and I would make hideous babies because red-headed babies are the ugliest thing she has ever seen. She also locked me out of our hotel 4 hours from home with no way home at 3 AM that same day after an argument over her saying my husband kills people for a living. He is a chemist who works on developing chemotherapy. That was the last time I've spoken to her. 4 years ago. Such a jealous woman. Best friends for a couple of years. We were in different classes. I wrote her a message that I'd be on my way to her. When I arrived she forgot to alt-tab the chat window with someone else making fun of me at the worst possible way. At that time she was my only friend. Was tough to have no friends after that for a long time. This might not sound like a lot, but I think that scared me and I'm still struggling making friends. Edit. Holy it. That wave of responses is just crazy. Thanks for everyone who's reaching out to me. Also, thanks for the silver kind stranger. When I invited her to hang out with me at the nearby lake for my birthday, she said she would get back to me. She never did. Instead she posted on her Snapchat story about how much fun she was having with her other friends. I stopped talking to her after that. I have lived within 2 hours of him for the last 6 years and he has never come to visit me. Always me visiting him. Last straw had a huge the 4th of July BBQ and invited him and he declined so he could go to a lake with strangers. Duck you Rick. When she invited me out to dinner as a Christmas gift, and then when the check was dropped, told me she actually couldn't treat BC. She had impulse bought her boyfriend a plane ticket when she was drunk the evening before and therefore didn't have the $sign, among other things. But this was the moment when I was really like, whoa, my friendship means nothing to her. She started dating my rapist. And he didn't invite me to his birthday party. I went over to drop off a present, thinking he wasn't having a party, hadn't mentioned anything at school, and found him with his better friends. Edit. Holy it, this blew up. Doubled my karma. Also don't be too mean please. It was 4th grade and he's not a terrible person. When I realized she only wanted to receive support and kindness but never give it. She had a rough home life growing up and I always supported her through everything. I would drop what I was doing when she'd call me in tears to help her. Then I had my own rough patch that left me in a depressive rut. She was always too busy with her hobbies, not even actual work school, to even talk to me when I went seeking support. Would get angry when I sent simple "Are you free this weekend?" texts because it was too needy. This is also when I learned who my real best friend was because she saw what was happening, told off this so-called friend, and gave me all the support I needed. Edit. OMG, this got way more attention than I thought it would. I'm so sorry to see this is such a common ordeal that people have gone through or going through. I wish everyone the best. We all deserve the support to get us through tough times. After she told me my sexual assault was my fault, I ended that 5-year friendship right then and there. When he started spreading rumors that I was a duck boy that was going to shoot up the school despite me never having a girlfriend at that point and I'm extremely non-violent. Stop following me around, I don't even know you. I must flip this because I was the problem, not him. Fell in love with him. Could not reverse my feelings. Shamed of this. He deserved a better friend. Has moved on. I miss him. Edit. Thank you for messaging me. Feels good knowing many of us know this experience. Whole thing gave me whiplash. We were friends for almost a decade before a switch flipped and a flip switched for me and it did not go back. I waited for months before I told him, because I wanted to make sure I wasn't confused and that my feelings were not going away. I think I even waited for about a year. He was really sound about it. I swear I'm not putting him on top of a pedestal. He handled it all perfectly and treated me very right. He was confused at first, and we tried to be together a few times, on and off I guess, over a couple of years. Never anything official. We were already so close and had been spending most of our time together anyhow. He was ready ages ago to resume being friends and I tried, but we were tumbling down different fields of life at the time. I think he has a kid now. I believe we live in separate countries. We were very close once and had good times and I respect him and hope he continues to be well and happy. Not my best friend but an ex-friend of mine. Your best friend doesn't have depression. She just has those awful thoughts because she watches horror movies. Edit. Holy at you guys. This blew up. Thanks for the support y'all. When I got an internship at my dream job and she started to pull away more and more until 2 months went by and I realized she ignored most of my texts and Snapchats. After the internship I tried to contact her a few times thinking it was just a product of her being busy with graduation, me being in another state working crazy hours, but a mutual friend stepped in and told me she didn't want to be friends with me anymore. I considered her family. She decided I was very replaceable. It hurt a lot more considering we both used to bond over the fact that our childhoods were filled with best friends dumping us for more popular people. Ordering me to help her with stuff. And there was once my 2 friends and I ordered drinks. Friend A forgot to get a straw. My best friend, which is friend B, just took my straw and passed to friend A and asked me to go and get another one for myself. I was so heartbroken. Best friend of 7 years fell in love with my fiance. When I told him I didn't want to be friends anymore and kicked him out of my life, my fiance left me for him. I'll be honest, I wanted to kill him and almost did. My best friend was always complaining and making everything about herself. I met my boyfriend and moved cities so we could be together. Only after a while did I realize that I was feeling so relieved to stop catering to her needs. My co-worker was my best friend. Then she became my boss. In our final year of university, after having a nearly identical schedule for our first 3 years, we took different electives to finish up our degree. Since we weren't seeing each other every day, we talked less and less. It's not just on him, I didn't do enough either. But it kinda sucked realizing that our friendship wasn't going to last up to graduation, and obviously afterwards as well. When all the conversations had to be started by me, when I called him out on it, his excuse was I'm very busy, dude, like the rest of us aren't. A text now and then won't kill you. Telling his brother after I had called to talk for a bit like we always did, I told you to say I'm not home if Poota's pants are here, called. Was upset, but it also clued me in to not waste time on that person anymore. Just told him not to worry and that I would talk to him later. Never did. Just left it at that. He was asking for help from my other friends in school for a problem on his computer work. They suggested why not ask me for help since I sat next to him in class, and then replied I'm not asking him, he's ducking stupid, while I was right near him printing stuff out. I was so surprised I just pretended I didn't hear anything and went back to my desk. Didn't speak to him for a while after that. I gave this person way too many chances. When she would only have me come over so she could go to a concert. Because her parents liked me and let us go out, she stopped talking to me for a while but hit me because she was applying for a job and needed clean urine. We stopped talking again. Then she would call me to tell me she needed food and money for her son, and then bought drugs. I've stopped helping her, and she's no longer my best friend, but I listen when she needs to talk and having a hard time. Do the man. That really sucks. I don't hate her, but I've set boundaries. I really hope she gets her life together. When we both tried to get in a frat, I didn't make it and he did, which was cool. BC we'd still hang out. That is until for the next month him and a few of his new frat pledges would throw food at me, and on at least 4 occasions I'd be blindsided on campus with them tipping me over. I'm in a wheelchair. They wore masks so I had no proof to anyone, but he was pretty big and I recognized his shoes. He'd then try to still hang around me and act like he never did anything. I didn't really figure it out till about the 3rd time when they tipped me over, and that's when I saw his shoes, confirming it. About a year later he randomly texted me saying how sorry he was for what he did and hoped we could be friends again, but by that time I could care less. Turns out he had gotten kicked out of the frat for drug use and now he couch surfs. When my girlfriend left me, my best friend at the time said it's cool man. I ducked her. You don't want trash like that in your life. He was right. When she told me she didn't want to hang out because my toddler took up too much of my time and I was boring. Then she got knocked up and came to me crying about how hard everything is gonna be now that she's single and pregnant. She was the only person I had told about being sexually assaulted. When it eventually got out that there were other victims and I went to court, she refused to testify, stayed friends with my abuser, and lied to people and said that I hadn't told her anything. I'm still too chicken to completely cut her off but duck that. When he just stopped hanging out with me or talking to me and hung out with all the cool kids instead. Haven't had a friend since. He was my only friend. When I told her I was moving in with my boyfriend in a different state, she screamed and swore at me, busted into my room at my home while I was talking to my boyfriend on Discord so he heard the whole thing, saying he would probably abuse and kill me or just dump me on the street when we would eventually break up. We still live together and she got over it but it hasn't been the same since. My senior year of high school, when the group of friends had inside jokes about me, they made a game of mentioning these jokes in front of me. When it finally got out I pretty much never talked to them again. After graduation, never seen again. When they said that I'm not funny and never have been, they said they only laughed at my jokes out of pity. They then said that no girl would ever like me and that I'm annoying. The thing about girls didn't hurt that bad but for some reason by them saying I wasn't funny really hurt. This was after 3 years of being best friends. Not my best, but one I was growing closer to. She left me a voicemail but didn't hang up properly. It was like, "Hey, Waffle House needs Wi-Fi. I'm with Melissa and we're seeing what you're up to. Call us when you get off work. Bye." Rustling sounds. She's probably not even at work. She does this lame acid where she disappears for days on end. I don't even know why I called her. She's so duckin' annoying and it'd be better to spend a day with just you. Okay, then do. I listened to it 3 times just to make bloody certain I heard her 100% right. It was crystal clear. When she asked me days later what was up with me, I told her about the voicemail. She proceeded to deny it outright. I never said anything like that. Then jumped down my throat claiming she was talking about someone else. What? That didn't even make sense. Whatever. And people wonder why I disappear. Best friends since birth. Our families were friends. The two of us plus my brother and her brother spent together every weekend for roughly 20 years. Then she changed. She became super entitled and holier than thou. Final straw was when 4 years ago she wanted to go to paintball for her birthday and invited both me and my lil brother. My lil bro had an autoimmune disease and could not participate. I told her that I would not go either cause I didn't want my teenage brother to feel different. She flipped the duck out, told me I was an asshole and it was her birthday, and she didn't care that much about my brother. I got really mad. I wrote her a long message and I didn't hold back. She never answered. Cut contact there and then. 6 months after that, my brother almost died. She never came to the hospital or even called. Not me, not him, not my mother. But no contact for 4 years and never looked back. Edit. I'm not sure if it's clear that she cut contact with me, not the other way around. Was gonna make a throwaway, but F that. Last year, he was in my town and ran into my son at a local store. My son, does my dad know you are in town? Guy, no. He's an asshole. Now, I may be an asshole, but an asshole down a best friend now. My friend completely ghosted me after I had my daughter. She never called or texted me. She got angry if I invited her over. Later she told me she was upset with me because I wasn't paying enough attention to her. Good riddance.